Thanks for staying with us now. According to the UN Women, from the local to the global level, women's leadership and political participation are restricted. Women are underrepresented as voters as well as in leading positions, whether in the elected offices, the civil service, the private sector, or academia. This occurs despite their proven abilities as leaders and agents of change and their right to participate equally in democratic governance. Women face several obstacles to participating in political life. Structural barriers through discriminatory laws and institutions still limit women's options to run for office. Capacity gaps means women are less likely than men to have the education, contact and resources needed to become effective leaders. As the 2011 UN General Assembly resolution on women's political participation notes, women in every part of the world continue to be largely marginalized from the political sphere, often as a result of discriminatory laws, practices, attitudes, and gender stereotypes, low levels of education, lack of access to healthcare, and the disproportionate effect of poverty on women. Individual women have become these obstacles with great acclaim and often to the benefit of the society at large. But for women as a whole, the playing field needs to be level, opening opportunities for all, and that's why we're here. We're asking, how can we begin to enhance women participation in politics and governance? Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at WayShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. I'll bring in our guest in a minute, but Mani, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, right? When you see women and you hear politics and all of that, how does it come to you? How do you think we are faring as women in politics?
Well, I think for me, it's sad to see that the women outnumber the men in Nigeria. The population of women outnumber the men, yet you just see just a few of them in the corridors of power. You know, we've talked about all the issues that women have when it comes to politics and even getting big roles in, you know, organizations and everything. But today, I think I want to talk about how we can defy all these obstacles. I would like us to steer the conversation in the area.
In that direction,
yeah,
yes.
in that direction, because we've seen how some great women have come and have done it. So we have, there's a lady called Louis, I think it's Atta. She's a polio survivor and first Nigerian legislative candidate. And she's doing great things. We have Ibukun Awoshika. Of course, everybody knows that she's a chairman of First Bank, and she's on several boards like Cadbury and all. Then we have Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, you know, who has gone on to be the lead.
WTO.
Do you understand? Yeah. And then two-time serving Minister of Finance. So we have these women that have come. They have also had to deal with all the obstacles,
and yet
they defied all obstacles, defied all gender stereotypes, and they went on to do great things, paving the way for others to follow. So I think we should steer the conversation in that direction so that we see that, yes, we have all these things we have to deal with, but how do we go over and still achieve?
Despite the barriers, how do we enhance that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let me bring in Princess Abiodun Oyefusi. She's a PDP Lagos East Senatorial candidate for 2019 rather. She is a governance partner and a company secretary with TLGP Partnership. She's a law graduate with merit and holds an MBA and is an associate of the Chartered Governance Institute of the UK and Ireland. Princess Abiodun Oyefusi is the daughter of the late Ayegburu, right, of Ikorodu. I hope I got that right. Ayegbure of Ikorodu. And she's joined us live in studio. Thank you so much, Princess.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Nice to be here. It's an honor to be here.
We are super happy. You know, we've been chasing you forever, but finally you're here. How is the political movement going, though? She's been really busy in Abuja, running helter-skelter, because this is your time, this is your season. How has it been for you?
It's been very hectic, but it's great that we have been able to achieve quite a lot. I must give a lot of kudos to all the women NGO that came out in mass to protest the 5 bills that were rejected by NAS.
Wow.
And it's very encouraging when you see the ordinary women in Nigeria now taking interest in what is going on, and now understanding that they must know their right. They must, because if we don't know our right, we can't help the girl child.
No.
We don't know our entitlement. What do you begin to fight for? But we must educate on our women, on their rights, on what we're entitled to as women in our nation. When we begin to do all these things, women know that no matter the obstacle, no matter the main games that they play at us in politics and everywhere, we can always overcome, because you know that you know what you're entitled to. You know what the law protects you from. You know how you can fight. But if you don't have those tools, how do you begin to fight?
I was going to ask, sorry, Mani, I'll let you come in just in a minute. I wanted to can you walk us through what your journey was like in 2019 when you ran for Lagos East Senatorial seat? How was that journey for you?
For me, it was, I actually tasted in 2014.
Awesome. Okay.
When I just lost my dad, and I wanted to carry on his legacy because he did so much for his own. He loved his people, and that's what he taught us, the heart of service. My uncle as well, Shifa Deni Rogosaya, was my uncle.
Okay.
So I'm from that lineage, so I wanted to go into it, and naively, I just threw myself into it, and I learned a hard lesson. It was really hard, so I just licked my wound and go away. I said I could live to fight another day. But in 2019, I was kind of ready in a way, but I didn't know the PDP to right to the grassroots, so I wanted to learn that in order to know how to fight. But it was really tough. It was a dirty men's game. You just have to throw yourself in there, get dirty, wherever. They must see that you are up to the task. And you don't have all those women excuses, oh, I'm tired, I have to cook for my kids, or I can't go out, or I'm afraid, it's too violent. You know, they must see that you can take the fear.
You can take the heat.
You can take the heat.
I like what you said, you know. I was a banker before I came to practice full time. So there was a time I was pregnant, I think for my first child, and I was acting like what you just said, all the woman kind of thing. And then someone called me, a lady called me aside, and she said, don't ever let them see you being weak, you know, when you do all this. So now I'm going to go back to what you said when we started. You said now these women are coming out in droves. So the ordinary women. What do you mean by the ordinary women?
You see, I was so encouraged when I got to Abuja, and I saw the people that were actually in front of NAS. They were not your corporate women.
Oh, really?
They were your ordinary working class women that felt cheated and felt abused. That why is it only the women's bill, all 5 of them, that were thrown out?
Yeah.
So they couldn't understand. Even some that doesn't understand what this bill is, they were busy the fact that it's women, and you threw it out. We no go agree. So they were busy. Anything, the word women just drove all of them out.
I like that.
And it was just encouraging. I was really moved. Because I was expected to get there and see legislator, you know, your corporate people, you're working. And I saw market women, working women, everybody in the street, just carrying that placard and marching from 8 to 5. It's amazing.
But is that
That's
enough
amazing.
though, right? Because we're talking enhancing women's participation in politics and governance. Is that enough for us to just keep on? Because almost all the time, Manny, every time there's a big issue, you see women, you see that we are going braless to go and stand on the street.
I don't think we do that. We don't.
Some people do that. You know, no, we do that in Nigeria. We've done. I think some people do that. Yeah. You know, so either you are going braless to go and stand in front of the street, or women will come out. You know, but it's always all the time a protest. Women are revolting. Is that enough? Right, to push more women to go out for political positions and seats of governance. Is that enough? Never,
it's not. Right now, where we are right now is not. Because the institution is already built against women. The system is already built against women. The culture is already built against women. The religion is already built against women. So we're fighting at all fronts. and
tough.
it is tough. If you need that level playing field, I do not see how we can achieve it without affirmative action, which is why it was very important for us to make sure that the 35% that Nigerians signed up to at the UN gender policy, 35%, they implemented. It's an international UN law. Nigeria is part of UN. They're supposed to bring that law back to Nigeria, make it a domestic law. We also have the one for African protocol on women's right. Nigeria is number 3 on the signatory.
And yet we don't see that being translated into the actual
law into the domestic laws of Nigeria. This was in 2004, as early as that. And it says some things. You need to see this protocol. Right to dignity, right to life, security, right to equality in marriage, protection from harmful practices like domestic violence. But we have all these laws. And I can tell you, the Afro Nigerian women does not know it. They don't know it. But if we don't educate the minds and the heart of Nigerian women to know these things, there is no way that we can help the girl child. There's no way we can develop.
Okay, so what you're trying to say, you're talking about politeracy, teaching them. At what levels do we start to educate you talked about the girl child. So at what level do we start educating the women or the girls about politics and their involvement in politics?
I think we owe it to our secondary school girls.
I think so too.
To start to, we have to, you see, because of what we're trying to achieve, look at the first black Supreme Court judge that was appointed by Joe Biden.
Yeah.
234 years it took them to get there.
It's crazy.
We don't have another 240
to give.
All these laws were made for us so that we can build on top of it, not to start from scratch all over again. So we have to incorporate this, even the ones that is just Africa. Let's leave to UN, the one that we agree to in our Africa thing. Let's incorporate it into our curriculum.
But let me ask you a question.
Teach our girls.
Looking at this 2023, because it's upon us, the elections that are coming up, do you see political parties, right, political structures, do you see them actually pay? Because I know that in some political parties, I mean, I read a story, very interesting story, was my What's in the News on Friday, where the ADC party had talked about giving free forms to women.
Yeah, like that.
Women and people that are disabled, right? Because they were trying to, as much as possible,
encourage them.
So they are looking for 300 people that would go for the legislative positions, and they want to sponsor them fully. So they're not paying, it's going to be free forms and all of that. So do you see political parties actually, so even if we say, okay, we're not doing stuff, even just to buy the buying of the citizens, to say, okay, well, this political party is woman friendly and all of that, do you see that happening currently now with the people that are coming out to say they want to go for political offices in Nigeria?
Yes, there are parties already doing it. Take, for example, PDP. It's within the constitution. The PDP constitution, they must give 35% of the positions to women.
So it's a must.
Once you put something in your party constitution, it becomes your bread and your Bible. That is what you operate by. So if you set up committee, if you're appointing people in your national executive committee, 35% of them must be women. PDP has it. And I want to believe APC has it as well. And PDP and APC, they've both given the nomination form for free. So you just pray for the expression form. For example, if you're going for House of Representatives, in PDP, the form is for the men, the form is 2.5 million. 2 million is for the nomination, and 500,000 is for the expression. So what they've asked women to pay is just the 500,000. It's one thing to buy a form. It's another thing to have money to run for election. And it's another thing to be able to have that your polling unit agent, your canvasser, your returning officers. You know, there's a lot of bandwagons behind, a lot of people behind winning
an election.
Winning an election. So it costs money. And you are dealing with the boys club. If you go in there to beg for money, you know the way they look at Nigeria. You got that expression, so you have to prove yourself double the effort of a man.
I like that.
Double the effort of a man. You can't go to a boys' club and say, please, I need 20-something million.
No.
What are you offering? What you have to give? Yeah.
Who are you? What are you?
What's your pedigree? What's your influence? How
Yeah.
much impact can you know?
But the men are allowed to have godfathers. But
Yeah,
the women
they're
are
not allowed to
have
godfathers.
because they take the god out and they put something else. That's what they do.
That is absolutely true. We suffer, and if you get up and you say, no, I'm going to do it my way, I'm going to do it with a lot of dignity, I'm going to knock on every door, then you become a B-I-T-H-C-H.
Yeah, sure.
Aggressive. Every language that they give to a woman that you wondered why. And they throw it at you because you stand on principles and integrity and refuse to play the game the way that they play the game.
Absolutely.
But the doors that you knock, that a man will knock once and it will yank open, you know, the Benz, let's go drink a beer, what are you talking about? Go tonight. You have to knock it like 10 times before they even.
So I like what you just said now. We have to knock it like 10 times. So, because that was the first thing Manny asked when she said she would like us to steer the conversation as to what we need to, how we need to do. So maybe that's what we'll start up when we come back from the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, if you just tuned in, we are having a day. We're discussing enhancing women participation in politics, and we're having an amazing chat with Princess Abiodun Oyefusi. Please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at PlusTvAfrica1 with the hashtag WeShow. All right, so before we went on the break, you talked about, you know, a woman having to knock a door 10 times when a man just needs to knock once. And Manny had mentioned that she would really love for this conversation, which is what I want. I want a solution. I want a way forward, right? How do we, as women, position ourselves, right? How do we ensure that, you know what, we are doing the right things? What kind of expectations are we supposed to tick those boxes we're supposed to tick? When you say you want to go into politics, let us, so that we just know that if you are not prepared, just stay behind and wait till you are ready. Abiodun, so then you now take up the challenge. But what are the things we should be looking out for?
For us, the first thing that we wanted to achieve was to achieve a base, which was that 35% affirmative action.
Yeah.
If you give 35% to women, you know that this position cannot be given to a man. So it's now up to the women group to bring forward
the best candidate.
Best candidate. It makes the journey 50% lighter. Without having to complete. Do you know what it takes to complete for primaries? You have delegates. They're called delegate. And that's money.
Okay.
That is money. This is the, let's not kid ourselves. Nigerian politics is about money.
Yeah.
You buy everything from your forms to people that will vote for you.
So the people that are dancing for you.
Dancing for you.
You pay them.
You pay everything. So getting through the obstacle of the primary, which costs a lot. Sometimes it costs almost 70% of your election money, getting through that primaries within the party.
Yeah,
my God.
That's true.
But you know what? So I heard this like whispers that a certain candidate that is female, it's possible that the ticket might not, be given to her because the other party. So even though there's a 35% that, okay, say we must meet up a 35% quota for this thing. If your party decides to give you the ticket and the other contestant or in another party and is a strong opponent is a male, that there's every likelihood that they might they will give it to they match it up strength for strength in terms of their political strength, right? Why do they always consider that? First of all, two questions I'd like to ask. Why do they always consider women politicians as weaker politicians than male politicians? That's one question. Then the second question, do you see that happening, or should we now have like a consensus where we say, okay, you know what? For this particular, well, that's not going to even be possible. The question I'm asking, but is it even possible for us to go a consensus across all political parties to say, you know what, these particular positions, let's just reserve them for women? Is it possible? Maybe not.
If I answer the second one first. I think what you will find is that where, for example, you zone a position, like in a state, there is 3 senatorial districts.
Yes.
The West, for Lagos, for example, there's the West, the East, and the Central. One of it must be a woman. If we're going by PDP party constitution, one of it must be a woman. Okay. And even APC keep giving one of it to women, like Tinubu.
Remi Tinubu, yes.
Yeah, she's been one that's been given Central all this while. And I got 2019. So where it doesn't make you a weaker candidate when facing an opponent. It doesn't. It depends on how you sell yourself and how you sell. You see, if we are 51% of the population, and yet we own 3% of the position. How does that math work? If I can get every woman, I don't even need the male folk. If women stands up and vote for women.
But that's true, because we're actually more in population.
51%.
Sure.
If male folk stand up, if women folk stand up and support women, we will not have.
But Princess Oyefusi, is this not the error?
Okay.
Sorry, Mani, come in.
Yeah, let me come in. You know what you just said. If we have only the women, then we are good to go, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that brings me to my next question. What do you think about political mentoring? Because if we have these trainings for women to come in and learn about different skill sets, you know, different types of training, how to conduct themselves, decorum, different things, you know, but this training have to be given to these other women by those who have gone, seen, conquered. What do you think about it? Do you think they are giving it? Do you think these women that are coming out for political offices, do you think they have enough training to actually go for the positions they're going for?
You see, my father taught me something. He used to ring it in our head when we were young. He always, and he's used it on great movies as well. He always says, with great power comes great responsibility. And I'm sorry, the women that have gone before us, they have not taken that.
Thank you.
It breaks my heart. Jonathan's era, we had about 18 or something women in Senate.
Okay, in the Senate.
Now in this current Senate, we only have 7 out of 109.
Wow.
7. See the numbers of people in the House of Rep. We only have 15 women.
So what happened?
Why
the drop?
Why the drop?
Out of 300 and something.
So what happened to all these women that you mentioned earlier on? Ngozi Iweala, how many people did they mentor? How many people did they bring up?
Which is so important. So it means that this whole women rivalry thing, it's actually more dangerous than even the men.
So I was going to even say something.
Dangerous.
Because when you said that you don't need the male folks, I beg to disagree.
Because the women will disappoint
you. They will
make sure they don't vote for you.
I beg to disagree, because you know what? If a man sees a woman on a mission and he knows she is capable, he would vote for her.
True.
So I even don't want us to promote this narrative that it has to be a woman that will, if we must support each other, because women don't support each other. We are our biggest enemies.
You're absolutely right. But the biggest number of gender voters that comes out to vote are women.
But guess what? The fact that they know you can even do the job will make them not vote for you. Because there's this thing going on inside them. So, you know, women are always competing. So it's like, oh, where did you come from? How did you think you can do this thing? Because they can't do it. So I think that, yes, the women need to mentor more. Because there are a lot of women that are coming up, they don't even know how to act. They are looking for political positions that they can't carry because they're not even well behaved. Character-wise, they're zero. So they need political mentorship, you know. So I think we should try to push that more. So if we talk about politeracy, we have to talk about political mentorship.
I said to some of the senators that I met with, and I asked, you're a senator in your state, how many women did you put in the House of Rep? How many women did you put in the Assembly? It is your responsibility. How many women did you buy form for? It is your responsibility. You are a House of Rep. How many women did you put in the local government? You are an House of Rep of a local government. House of Rep is not the state, it's an area. Is a local government. That's one rep for your local government. You, as a woman, was appointed House of Rep. How many women did you ensure got into the assembly in that
the
state?
State House of Assembly.
How many women did you ensure got into local government offices in that state? Then you can say, I have been a responsible leader.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, what good seed produce after seed, you
So what would have
you sow.
happened would have been 18 women in the Senate. It should have multiplied or increased. Or at least even stayed the same. Not taking a complete nose. That's failure on the woman's part. That's why it means that all the women that were senators then, they failed us.
They go in and they shut the door.
And they shut the door behind them. Oh, wow.
So we're all at fault. Because if we play this game with ourselves, that's all the men need. And they're good to go.
That's it.
That's all the men need. They're good to go.
So I think we need to encourage women.
We need to encourage
We need
women.
to do more for ourselves. We need to encourage ourselves.
The first thing we need
There's
to
no
do...
beefing. We can actually rule the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first thing we need to do, we need to forget that, leave the personality aside. Leave your pettiness aside. This agenda is bigger than me and you.
Yeah.
It is the future of that girl child in Nigeria.
Yeah.
If we cannot give this girl child any hope, then
Then
we
what are we
as a
giving them?
women generation, we have failed.
failed.
Because I am living here, I've never seen a Nigerian president, a women president, not even a VP.
Yeah. Maybe
I've
we should
never
start pushing
seen
for that as well.
a woman governor that won a democratic election, not someone that they remove and stepped in.
Yeah.
But never seen one. I've never seen a national party, the main party, APC, PDP. They've never appointed a woman as a leader. Not one. It's that bad. So if I cannot change the narrative for my generation and leave a better foundation for the
younger ones
for me, to me, I've achieved nothing in the field that I said I'm specialized.
Yeah, true.
The bankers are achieving more than we politicians because they're going there to be MD, CEOs of banks.
So are you going to start a woman mentorship?
We already started.
Let me take a comment. Good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of What Are You Saying Ways. Concerning the enhancing of women's participation in politics and governance, the women have to make themselves available for positions in office. Like my dear beautiful sister Emanuela mentioned, the likes of Ibuku Awoshika, Ugozi Okonjo-Iweala, these are great women that occupied great positions in office and they delivered and became effective. Women should be given the chance to be in politics and govern. Furthermore, women should not be intimidated and allowed to be relegated to the background. Nigeria has never had a woman president. I bet you, and trust me, if a woman is made president of Nigeria, I am sure that this country will be totally changed and transformed. It is not only men that can deliver. I rest my case for now. My name is Daniel Ilo, your always regular fan. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for resting your case. That was a long casing. I was going to say that, okay, there's a woman coming out for presidency because it brings me back to the question I'd mentioned, right? How really prepared are women? When they say they are coming out, are they just coming out to say, okay, I want to make noise so that last, they give me an appointment? Or they are really, really ready for running in governance? Because somebody will kill me for this, but there was a female presidential candidate and from the reports that we heard was that it was just only one vote. Even your house member,
did not vote for you. Your family members
did not vote for you. So that means you were I don't think who are now, I can bully some people to vote for me, but I cannot just go out and I just have one vote, right? So how prepared are women? Because sometimes when I see women coming out for political positions, like elective positions, not appointments, I just feel like this person is not ready. Because like you rightly said, you must do the dogged work. You must run into that mud. You must get dirty. You must do the work. But women, it just seems like, okay, I'm just here to make noise so that last, they will know that I'm here. Then I would end up settling for an appointment. Is that always the case, or truly women are ready to take on political positions?
Maybe previously it has always been the case. I don't know. But when I ran in 2019, I didn't run with that intention. And I won for PDP votes they have never seen in Lagos East. In fact, I actually beat the late Oshinowo. May he so rest in peace.
Why Oshinowo? Wow.
Yeah, I contested against him. I was the one that contested against him. And I mean, he was given the result, but like whatever the Lord declares the result. So I got the most number PDP ever had in Lagos East. I went into the market. I went onto the street. It was showing on videos. It was showing on YouTube. You can, if you still Google, you can see it. I went to the market where I spoke to the market women. I spoke their language to them. That's when I realized that what you people were saying were the mindset that these women are. They're not serious. They can't deliver nothing. They just make noise makers. They're just prostitute. They just people they put there. You know, they have that perception. They've really created this image for the Nigerian political woman that if you're not strong and you're not principled, you will break you. Yeah, but when they saw me there going to the news and corner, they realized that now Nigerian women are changing. But I think in 2023 we are ready. If we are given the right, that's why we wanted that 35% to give us that base. Then the next stage is actually going out there and actually campaigning. You must be willing to do the late night. You cannot say you're going home at 8. When is that 8 o'clock? They're doing the meeting of why they will share.
So if you are not ready already, if your home is not ready, don't come out.
Don't come out.
If your children are still growing, don't come out. So I think
you must be able to go into the midst of. I went into the worst places in Shomolu. They were saying, "Don't go." When I was driving my car back to Ikorodu, they actually shot at my windscreen. They shot my windscreen. And funny enough, I went in the escort car. I left the jeep for them because they were late, and I had a very important meeting at 12 o'clock in the night. So I just left at 11, and so they were bringing my jeep.
They knew you were a strong opponent.
So I had bullets.
Women, are we ready to receive the bullets? We have to be ready to receive all the bullets. Wow. So
it's things like that. So we must let them know that if we have to do this fight so that it's easier for the next in 20.
Well, how can we even clean up politics, man?
If we don't fight it,
because you remember the statement of the president when he was interviewed, when they asked him who was his presidential candidate. He said, "Let them not go and kill him." It means that this shooting of the thing is a normal thing.
Right?
I mean, why do we have to do that? But that's to tell you that these people are scared. Yeah. And that's why, for me, I want to say that if you are not prepared, don't bother to come out. You understand? Because if you are prepared, trust me, they will know that somebody is prepared.
I don't think that anybody is really prepared to die.
No, I'm not talking about dying. I'm not saying if you are prepared to die. I'm saying if you're not prepared politically, meaning that you have not done the work, the grassroots work she's talking about.
You don't know that they're going to shoot at you.
No. Forget the shooting, money.
We can't forget the shooting.
Money, leave the shooting. What I am saying is that if you see, the reason they will shoot at her is because she had done she had done the homework. She had a very strong chance of winning the elections and emerging the senatorial candidate. That's the point.
So for me, I feel like it shouldn't be a do or die affair. If you win, fine. If you don't win, go home and try tomorrow. You know. So why do they think they need to kill somebody to get to that position? I don't know. So and this. Well, I don't know.
Help us with that.
I think it's more intimidation than killing. I don't know about the worst extreme hand. I did not witness the extreme hand. But they tell you have this area boys, you have this place you cannot go, you have that place. And I wanted to win. So I was prepared to go everywhere. So it's where they tell me I could not go that I was ready to just go that, okay, let me even go and talk to them. I'm coming from a position of no. I cannot go any further. But I can always go to a yes. So that's the approach that I took.
But after the gunshots, did you continue to
I continued.
I said she had the meeting at 12 midnight. Did you not hear what she said?
I continued because you must show them. If they see that you're willing to do the work,
then they'll be ready for you.
Then you gain the respect.
True. Yeah.
You gain
so
the
you
respect.
have earned that respect.
Yeah. You gain that respect. And they know that you're a woman of your word. If they say, okay, there's this discussion, we have this meeting at 11. You cannot give. They know you will be there because they now see you as a leader. They now see you as a leader and that's what I try to do. And I tried to, in the latest Congress, they were like discussing. I said, Princess, what's your position? I just opened, all the women that came out in the local government, I was just slotting them into Congress. Women. Okay. I didn't know them from, I was just slotting them. I said, we must give women. Because if we don't give women, we can achieve nothing.
Sorry, one last question for me. What are the political parties doing to identify potential female candidates? You know, we just talked about some people not being ready. So how do we know? What are the political parties doing to identify the ones that are ready?
You see, this is where I fought women. Because like you said earlier on, women must come out. Political parties can't force you out. They know the potential women's within the local structure. It's each local ward or local government knows these women. Yeah, because they've come out and they've been working in the party. But if they say assembly, if women don't come out and get the form, now that the form is minimal, although ideally it would have been lovely if it was free for women and they now have to just worry about raising the form. They can't force women out.
Yeah.
And even the ones that came out, I keep saying it, and I will keep saying it. Please, Nigerian women, vote for these women. Ejo, abeyin nítorí Ọlọ́run. Where you see a woman competing with a man,
vote for the woman.
Just because she's a woman.
Just vote for her first. We will teach her later. We will teach her. She will get on board. Just vote first.
If we had enough women in NAS, the laws that protect women from domestic violence.
I mean, look at the late Osinachi. Sad. Domestic violence.
This is what I'm saying about we women don't know. Do you know you have equal right in a marriage as a man, in separation, in divorce? It was signed by Nigeria. It's not in the African protocol. Do you know you have protection from harmful practices in marriage?
That's why we need to educate the girl child.
We need to educate the child. I keep saying we need to put these laws into a pamphlet and start distributing it to the homes.
So people will see and know.
And all these cultural barriers that that teaches us that a man is the head of the family. So if they beat you and kill you there, you see your head that is beating. No.
You have to stop all of that.
You have to stop all of that. That is why I started with that. The law has been created. It's now for Nigerians to adopt it into local law. And it's now for we women to make sure Nigerians adopt it, which was what was brilliant when we went to court and won the 35%.
Absolutely.
It was brilliant.
So this is cheers to all the women. Thank you so much.
Nigerian women.
So we are going to be watching out for you because we know you're doing a lot for women. We're going to be watching out for you, and we're hoping that you just let us know where you want us to support you. We are here. No, I know Sabi politics, but I Sabi talk.
You see, if we follow you, please invite women into your program.
Yeah, that's why we do it. Yes, we are doing that. Every woman that is intending to go into politics, it is free.
Yes, just encourage them and give them a big hug, and they know even if you don't give them any money, they know that you are always
here 100%. Thank you so much, man. You had a fantastic conversation. Now, before we go, make sure if you're a woman out there, this coming 2023 election, as you just see woman, just they put on print. Don't ask questions. Let's vote our own first.
Yes.
Later we discuss how to strategy. Alright, so make sure you follow us on Instagram at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our engagements on social media. Like, share, and invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Now, if you missed today's quote, here it is again. Women are the real architects of the society. If you want to rebuild Nigeria, support women, support women. We can't say this enough. We'll see you guys live tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.
Bye-bye.